Public Arts Commission meeting to order on August 28th. Okay. Tanisha. Sorry, guys. Okay. I'm looking for a motion to approve the May and July 2025 regular meeting minutes.
Motion to approve the May and July 2025 regular meeting minutes.
Can I get a second?
Second.
Is there any discussion? All in favor? Thank you. So we do have a guest speaker today with Art in Motion, or AIM for short. It's a nonprofit. They're going to be talking about Fishbowl Park murals. The floor is yours, sir.
So my name is Mark Mendoza, Chief Executive Officer of Art in Motion, AIM. I have this little presentation that's supposed to be like doing some stuff right now, but it's not working. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, the date's off. I updated that. I don't know why it's still the same. So today's August the 28th. I want to tell you a little bit about myself. So I was CEO of Boys and Girls Clubs in Stevens County for maybe 16 years. I'm sorry. When it presents, it should be like a click, and I think it's in movie mode. So I don't want to, if you could just pause it every so while, I'll help you run through it. I've worked with Department of Juvenile Justice youth, foster care youth. I taught pre-K for a little bit, which was my kryptonite. That's definitely hard and difficult to do. I was a teacher of 4th and 5th grade. I've got a master's in public administration and a concentration in public policy from UGA. I've been working with kids all my life, and me and my friend Corey Sullivan actually started a nonprofit July of 2024 called Art in Motion. Our mission is to cultivate creativity and innovation in youth through art education and exposure. So everything that we do is art related and art focused, everything from digital to dance. And the whole idea is really honing in on creativity and innovation that comes with the art. So we're battling AI, we're battling phone heads. Kids want to put their phones in their heads, and the only way we can fight back is with that creativity and that innovation that you can't take away from these kids. So every program that we have is designed to kind of help foster that creativity and innovation. This is kind of a little timeline as to where we were. I'm going to show you a little bit about where we are. So we basically started while I was with Boys and Girls Clubs. Corey owns a tattoo shop in Buford. They do like body and art piercing, and won like national awards and stuff like that. So his whole forte is art. My whole forte is youth. And we kind of combined forces, and he came up to, we partnered with Michaels. This was a while back. We partnered with Michaels, and they were able to donate 100-piece art kits. They got like pastels and watercolors, and we were so excited to be able to gift those to these kids in Stevens County, which all come from low economic situations and disadvantaged households. They all have barriers, and so a majority of these kids, for them, this, they get other Christmas presents, but this was kind of a supplementary gift for them. Corey came in, and we were able to teach them how to use the kits. And once they used the kits, we took their holiday letters, their holiday gift cards, and we went to a low-income assisted living facility called Pruitt Health in Stevens County. And we went with elders, and we delivered those Christmas cards. So that's all we were doing, was giving the kids these art kits, making Christmas cards, and delivering them to elders at the assisted living facility. And we started to notice like these elders are really overlooked. Some of the comments they made would be, you're my first visitor in 2 years, which was crazy to think about. Here recently we did it again, and we've been doing it year after year, but some of the comments would be like, this is my only Christmas present for this year. And it's crazy to think about that this group of people is going overlooked. If you want to continue on, I'm sorry. I wish I had so yeah, they did. If you want to scroll through a little bit more, we brought a Santa Claus. This is a program. This is them, at the actual assisted living facility. This is kind of like the birth of Art in Motion, per se. And we started with different art programs, just exposing them and taking them to different places to do different art activities. And Corey and myself were helping fund this outside of Boys and Girls Clubs. Art festivals, we connected with a lot of people, and we're able to take them just to put art in front of their face culinary arts, and we're still doing some of these programs today. And as the presentation goes on, you'll see how we've evolved. And this is like the culinary graduation right here. We were able to partner with Northeast Georgia Food Bank. I had a friend who does music production, actually Grammy Award winning music production. He came and taught the students how to digitally create music. I actually made a music video. It's called Snacking and Spinning. So it's on YouTube right now. They're super excited. We partner with Piedmont College, and we do improv classes with the teens. They really love that. Step team and dance team for the young girls. These are just some of the things that we do. The glow in the dark art is a hit. They love that, and we're going to continue that. Right now, we're partnering with A. Worley Boys and Girls Clubs, and we're going to start bringing some of these designs to them where they'll get, actually, if you want to pause it for a second, they'll get a chance to actually use nature and create their hoodies with bleach in a safe way, of course. And so what it's evolved to is now, if you want to keep going, I'll show you. So these are just some of the things that we've done as far as different art classes, bubble art, et cetera, that we bring to, and all of this curriculum is tailored age appropriately. If you'll pause it right there. So this is where we were before was Christmas cards, and this is where we were last year. We kind of grew and evolved to something that's taken on a whole life of its own. We were able to partner with Boys and Girls Clubs of Metro Atlanta and Austell. They called us last minute because we just do the art kits. We were just going to do the art kits. They called us last minute and said, hey, is there any way, that you can do something as far as gifts for our kids? We traditionally, Boys and Girls Clubs, and even when I was in Boys and Girls Clubs, we've always partnered with Toys for Tots. And they said that last year that Toys for Tots wasn't able to assist this Boys and Girls Clubs. They had an influx of requests, and they weren't able to fulfill Boys and Girls Clubs needs. Again, these are supplementary gifts, but kids that go to the Boys and Girls Clubs every year, this is kind of something they look forward to help. So we made some last minute calls, and we actually brought the real Santa Claus, as you can see right there, and we were able to help so much in this 1 to 2 week program that we did. We brought the art supplies. We made a lot of phone calls, got a lot of gifts for these kids. We had so many gifts. We ended up having leftover gifts where we ended up partnering with Gwinnett Children's Shelter, Salvation Army Homeless Shelter on Dorsey Street in Gainesville. And then we actually went to the housing projects, and we just, at the end, we just had to get rid of these gifts. And it was like Christmas Eve, the day before Christmas Eve, and we were just trying to get rid of these gifts because so many people poured their blessings into these kids, and we didn't want to let these toys sit in storage or wait till next year. We wanted to make sure that they got to the right place. If you'll go ahead and, thank you so much. So this is where we're at now, and let me see if it'll skip. There's some of our work in the communities. There's, the assisted living facility. There's, every time we go to assisted living facility, there's not a dry eye in the house. It's always, that's really what we do it for. If you can see the scope of how many gifts we were able to get. The number one gift for teen boys, can anyone take a guess? Teen boys? That's what we thought. They were trading in their headphones, footballs, and basketball. Can I trade this for a cologne? So next year, we're doubling up on the cologne. It was a big hit. Here's some of the work we've been doing with Paulina's help. We made a great connection with Goddard, the school in Brookhaven. We did a couple events over there. We love it. If you'll take, I think after this, we need to take a little pause. So what once was, we're just doing gifts. Now we have a mural initiative. This is a mural that one of our artists did at David T. Howard Middle School. And so the whole idea now is we want to do art classes. So how do we fund these art classes? So our goal is, and we have been doing it, we partner with municipalities and schools, and we say, hey, you know what? We've got this great artist. We've got a relationship with them. They bought into our mission. They really believe in what we're trying to do with these kids. And they're willing to do these murals for a cheaper cost. And with some of the money that we're making from this mural as a nonprofit, we're using it to do art classes. So the project, if you want to skip to the next one. So for example, right now we're working on, there's a big project in Gwinnett at Norcross at Singleton Park. It's right down the road. And they've asked us to do a 2,600 square foot wall. and we actually got awarded a grant. And with that wall, the funding will also fund 15 art classes and 3 art camps. We partner with A. Worley Boys and Girls Clubs and Norcross Elementary. There you can see Singleton Park. They're renovating it right now. And next you'll see how big the wall is. Huge. So that's the wall right there. It's going to be their backdrop on October 14th. They'll be cutting the ribbon, and we'll have our wall ready. We've already started prep, so we've got the whole wall painted white. If you want to pause it right there. So we're excited about that park. Like I said, 15 art classes, 3 art camps, and I've got a whole curriculum. All of it's age appropriate, but it's not just paper and pencil. You know, we're doing some creative. I say crazy. We're doing some crazy stuff with art. You know, and we're super excited to bring that to those youth. We've got a proposal with Brookhaven Art Council, and they're doing. So we measured a wall. If you want to skip a little bit, every project is different. So this, for example, they have a public safety building. It's got a 4,600 square foot wall. You can see right there in red if you want to pause it. That wall's 4,600 square feet. This is the wall that all police officers look at as soon as they come out of the safety building. They're looking at it every day. It's not red. We painted that just to highlight it. It's brick, concrete. So this particular project, what we proposed, is that we're going to get the community involved and help with community and police officer relationships. So we want them involved. We want words of affirmation. You know, we want things that, you know, the police and the community can come together to paint. We've got a lot of data that supports how well that could help police officers with their mental health and things of that nature. If you want to continue. And so we've got another project at Woodward Elementary. If you want to pause it, we did not paint that wall. Actually, Ms. Clark, the principal, she has requested, if you want to back it up one, no worries, thank you so much. So she's requested that we get rid of that artwork. She doesn't like it. I don't see anything wrong with it. We're going to try to do a little bit better. You know, I think she thinks it's outdated or it isn't appropriate. It might be more appropriate for a coffee shop or for, you know, I don't know. So they've asked us to do that as well. We've met with their PTA. And I think we're going to move forward with that by the end of the year around the holidays. We'll end up painting that, and then we'll end up bringing art classes to the kids at Woodward Elementary. We're super excited. I don't have a lot of information on Fishbolt Park, but, you know, I kind of want to tell you this is what we do. You know, we partner with municipalities. We bring cost-effective murals, high-quality murals with good artists, and we end up using some of the funding to do art classes with our kids. And we're, you know, with your help and your assistance, you know, only with your blessing will we move forward with a proposal to the city of Chamblee and see if, in the art commission, and see if we could do a project here. I know that Dresden Park is also under renovation. I think that it's going to be done later this year. It might be too late for that. But, you know, Gwinnett's told us that they've got 52 parks. And this is just the first one that we're doing with Gwinnett, and they're looking forward to working with us on future projects. I would really like to do the same and replicate it here. So we're doing schools and municipalities, and it's basically our mission, and we're just keep funding art classes for kids. If you have any questions, I'd love to answer.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you may not know this off the top of your head, but do you know about price per square foot you usually get your
Yes,
artists
ma'am.
for?
So a lot of it's dependent on what the artist is willing to do per project. So some of it might be, like I have an artist, typical artist range is $55 a square feet. And then but I've been able to negotiate because a lot of this is done off the back of the artist. You know, if you say, hey, we know your price is this project is going to help police officers, is going to help these people. What can you do it for? Do they live nearby? Do they have some kind of attachment to this project? And that really has a lot to do with how much we could bring the price down. I think we priced it down as low as $33 a square foot. There was another one, I think it was $22 a square foot. So there's a lot of wiggle room there. It's just about finding the right artists and matching them with the good project. But yeah, so we could definitely work with budgets and things of that nature. We can do less art classes. The design also has something to do with it, you know, whether, you know, because there's some, right now the one in Gwinnett, we're doing it's a 10-year seal. So like it's guaranteed no matter what for 10 years to withstand UV and any kind of weather and protection. So it's depending on what kind of project, what kind of design and painting and mural we want to do. So.
So, you're basically applying to bring some people in if we have a wall for a mural, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What I'm asking is the Art Commission to help me identify in Fishbowl Park which wall would be the best for us to tackle. I'm asking you to review our proposal, just like any other proposal, and to seriously consider funding that mural so we can have some art classes for the kids
You
in the
help
area.
fund your projects through this means, is that accurate?
All art classes are taught through the mural, through the funding from the murals.
That goes to all of those programs as well?
Yes, sir.
And they're
We're-
all over the place?
Absolutely, we're a true nonprofit. And not all. Oh, that's another example. Yeah, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention. We only do the classes if we do a mural for Chamblee and for Fishbowl Park. The classes for art will only be in Chamblee. We're not taking them anywhere else. The project that we have in Gwinnett, the same thing. We're partnering with. I'm sorry, in Norcross, we're partnering with Boys and Girls Clubs. That's like 9 minutes away. We only partner and use the funds within that same community. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Yeah,
and we'll
thank
put
you.
on the
I've got a
list for-
question. I've got a question.
Yeah.
Who can help me here identify a wall at Fishbowl Park that would be great for us to put a proposal in for?
There would have to
Well,
be a wall.
It has not been constructed yet.
Okay,
The construction has not started yet.
okay. Well, when you build it, we will come.
Okay.
Hopefully, so I'd love to hand out my card after the meeting. I love what y'all are doing here, and we're all focused on art, and we have the same goals, so I'd love to work with y'all. Thank you so much.
Thank you. All right, now it's all me. All right, so William Massey Sculpture Project update. We had a really great meeting there at the construction site to finalize and really figure out where that sculpture is going to be located, and the line of sight and where on the drawing it would be and that kind of thing. So we are moving full steam ahead on that, and we're going to have the base poured when they do the rest of the like sidewalk pouring right there. So that'll be first. And then William is planning on having the sculpture finished in mid-October. He will install it, and he's worked with the construction people to make sure that he can pull up and the weights and all that and not do any damage. So that's going really well. The ribbon cutting that we have discussed for this sculpture likely will be pushed out because the construction timeline seems to be pushed out due to rain this year. So it looks like we'll be maybe doing a ribbon cutting for this in early '26.
But you'll have it installed as early as October?
Yeah, but the
Right.
park will not be open.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so it'll just be by itself out there.
Well, people will see it.
The construction workers will enjoy it.
Yeah, good.
And that fits within the budget year, correct? Like the rest of his?
Yes, because, so, once he installs it, we'll pay him his last check.
Okay,
And that'll go through before the end of the year. And I've already got the sculpture signage, which we also had budgeted for. That is also in the works. We're looking at doing Spanish and English on that sign, and I think the best practice would be to put the Spanish first, so I'm working on that right now. And we've put that through a couple people who speak Spanish natively, and it looks like we're moving ahead on it.
oh, that's great.
Just out of curiosity, is that sign like LED? Because I noticed that the other one looks like it's glowing.
Does it?
It does.
Well, it does not have LEDs in it, but I love that it looks like it's glowing.
Okay. I I'm curious what that is.
When the installation is scheduled and about ready, can you give us a heads up so we can potentially go see it in the
Well,
construction or installation portion?
yeah, but, you know, just so you're aware, it's a construction site.
Yeah,
So kind of at your own risk, I think.
okay. Just give us a heads up.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah, we can go out and take pictures. All right, and the Bay Balls Community Wall Fix has been completed. Vera did it in, I believe, 3 days. She was out there. I actually saw her out there working. And it's pretty seamless to the rest of the mural. Unfortunately, you can't really get a great picture right there just because of the angles, but if you walk through there, it looks great. So that's complete, and we already put her last invoice in, so that will come out of this year's budget, and that was not originally budgeted for. But it works, it's fine. Chalk Walk. So I keep using this saying, but I'm full steam ahead on Chalk Walk. We have already run out of booths. The application is closed. We have 54 vendors, and I still have people emailing me to see if they can grab a spot. So I may open up another row. I just kind of have to figure out where I would fit that. The t-shirts are in, which is really exciting. They look great. We have a number of volunteers, which is wonderful because I know Shan's not going to be able to help me, and she was the best volunteer. All the rentals are finalized, and, you know, I've been having the special event meetings with police and public works and that sort of thing to really figure out the street closures and what we need day of. Passed out the street closure letters today. So yeah, everything's going very well with Chalk Walk. And again, if anybody would like to volunteer, which would be wonderful, you can scan that little thing.
I was gonna ask, because I'm vending,
Yeah.
do you want me to still fill this out, or like, would you just want me to?
No, don't
Okay.
worry about it, because I have you down as a vendor.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, do you want me to come early or stay late?
Oh, gosh, no, you're fine. You're gonna be on your feet all day anyway. It's fine.
Okay.
Thank you, though.
I also have an unemployed boyfriend, but I can.
Yeah.
still do
Well, if you want to send him over.
it. Yeah, I probably will.
All right, and then, as you guys know, we had worked with a company called Horizon Hygiene to set up a public art cleaning program, and the first round of that was complete. I put these particular pictures up because anyone who has walked by this sculpture knows how filthy this thing was, and now it's nice and shiny, so pretty excited about that. The only thing that did not get done that was originally supposed to get done that day was the MARTA mural, the one on this side. We just did not get the permission in time. Basically, it had to go through the water drainage and stuff. This sculpture is on the rail trail. So yeah, we'll have another round of cleaning next year, which will be a whole set of, you know, a new set of pieces. So for old business, I don't have too much of an update on this color field issue. I did reach out to people here locally to see if anybody knew someone who could solve this for us. And unfortunately, everybody came back with, the first guy was right, it's incredibly expensive, or we don't have it here in Georgia. And so I think we probably will maybe take Jeremy, the other commission member, up on his offer to bring it to New Jersey, to be stripped and recoded. Or the other option, of course, is to beg the artist to send us a new panel. She is in New Jersey. Not local. So you're talking about freight, and it's a lot. Yeah, So we've been trying to figure out what the easiest and most affordable solution is. And unfortunately, there's just not a lot of options. Yeah, in front of southbound.
I may have somebody that can look at it,
Okay.
and I'll contact him, and we'll go over there together and see if there's any.
Okay. Yeah, basically it needs to be chemically stripped because it's aluminum, so it can't be sandblasted. Chemically stripped and then re-powder coated.
The same colors.
Yeah, and I have those colors in a file somewhere.
Would you go power coated?
Powder coated? Yeah.
But, Tanisha, we're just talking about the one panel, though,
It's just
right?
one panel.
Okay.
Yeah, it was just not pre-treated correctly, unfortunately.
So that's not vandalism, that's just
It's, it was just a mistake by the powder coater up in New Jersey.
And they're not offering to do it for, come down here and do it for free.
They have offered to re-coat it and strip it, but we have to
The
get it
challenge with
there.
powder coating is that it's a heat-cured process, so the entire thing has to be stripped, coated with a powder material that you then heat to about 375 degrees in a giant walk-in oven
And so,
for
and
a
this
fixed period of
panel's
time for it
large.
to set.
I mean, you've seen it, yeah.
So this is,
Matching the paint.
Right. Oops, sorry. So that's all the news on that, and I will continue taking suggestions until we fix it. All right, now on to the big one. I didn't really do any new slides for this. I know I had given you a kind of a sneak peek last month on it, and I had sent this stuff out. So I think the budget inspiration, you know, just to remind everybody, we're basically trying to close out our 10-year public arts master plan. And so I pulled what was remaining from there and kind of figured out what would match those, what would allow us to check those boxes off. And so this is kind of what I came up with, you know, big and bold projects, partnerships and community, non-traditional partners was another one. And so for that, you know, I listed some of the nonprofits and non-traditional organizations that we have here in Chamblee. And also some things that we don't have yet, like kinetic art. We do not have any kinetic art. We do not have any crosswalk murals, which there are grants for through Bloomberg. And then the coloring book, that idea keeps coming up, and we have a number of artists who would be interested in doing that for us. So those are kind of the inspiration ideas. And a few of you submitted a few ideas, and I added them to this list. And I know that we wanted to talk about the roundabout sculptures in more detail, and we have a couple of artists that we could use for that as well. Do you want to talk about when you went to Portland and?
Well, I sent a number of photographs to you, and I did research. I was in Bend, Oregon, in which they really have embraced the roundabouts to where there's hundreds of them. Almost every intersection gets a roundabout treatment, and they put a whole variety of three-dimensional works in the center of it. And it just, and I don't know if we can send that out to everybody in the future. I also did a lot of research on their philosophy and what they feel as it enhances the city, which is a great improvement. Plus, I researched a concern whether it was any kind of a hazard that would. The only thing that I could find, I went and searched the web a whole variety of places and uses. The only thing that I ever popped up was there was a roundabout where there was a sculpture of a naked guy that was climbing a wall, and his butt was exposed, and and they had to take it down because too many people were looking at that. So there, as an extreme level, there is probably some distractions rather than just enhancements. But overwhelmingly in the city of Bend, Oregon, the roundabouts program is just phenomenal. And I would say that in terms of funding such an area would be on the parallel of what we have for the Massey sculpture in size and cost. And so I'm proposing that per piece, per roundabout, we schedule, where we budget at $50,000, and then we go one by one by one. Now, they don't all, if, let's say they're all completed, and we're not budgeted every year for $150,000, we can consider just doing one per year, over a 3-year period. And subject matter too is kind of interesting in that we can probably move off of our traditional train track sort of imagery to some of these more creative ones, like the Monarch was, per se. So I'm proposing that we put that into the budget for '26.
Elmer, do you have any idea how many roundabouts we have or will have in Chamblee in the next couple of years?
We just finished the first one, and there's 3 more proposed.
Okay.
There's one that's been tied up with some litigation over obtaining right-of-way up by the Chamblee Park project that Toll Brothers is doing. That one just keeps dragging out. And then there's the 2 that are proposed on Chamblee-Dunwoody, which I believe we're hoping to start construction on mid to late next year. So,
And those 2, we need to remember as well that whole long wall that we'll want to be doing a mural.
right.
During that
The
construction.
existing mural will be going away.
That'll be gone.
Because
Yeah.
that entire corridor is being rebuilt.
Yeah. And that's a lot of square footage.
Yes.
Would that not be too much art, one spot? I don't know if there's such thing as too much art, but that's a lot of dedication to one little area.
Let's start with the roundabouts.
Right.
Well, the roundabout thing could be, you could start with the existing roundabout, which is in my neighborhood.
Yes.
North
Otherwise,
Shalford.
we don't have any yet. That's the only one right
Yeah.
now.
No, I appreciate that, and as soon as we have one completed, such as the one in your neighborhood, then we should, contact or just put it out, as far as applications and, to go through the process of picking a sculptor and proceed from there.
And I just want to say that we have found that it's often much easier to approach artists and ask for available works rather than doing something like an RFP and having them do a custom piece. It seems to be more affordable and a much easier process to just buy something that already exists.
Yeah, well, I mean, my priority is to pick and to get a suitable piece for each one. And however we go about that process, already existing or a custom piece. There's nothing wrong, with a budget like that. And I would mention that I contacted Andrew Crawford about that and just bounced off him what the budget could he potentially work within that, and he thought that was very doable. So not that we're going to pick him specifically, although I think we should consider him. He's a heck of a talent, but I think that's a reasonable budget.
Tanisha, what was the final 2025 budget that was approved?
I think it's about 165.
Okay, because I know we had like 160 estimated at
Yeah.
one point. So Tom, you're saying 50,000 for a sculpture? Is that what you were saying? Okay.
But, you know, like through the Roswell, not Roswell, Roswell? Yeah, through the Roswell rotating sculpture program, we've gotten pieces for 12,000 that are large, but they're more affordable because they've been around, they're on loan,
Yeah,
that kind
well,
of thing. And so I'm just saying that we could possibly not need 50.
there's no doubt about it, but, we have to come up with a certain, determine a certain budget number for it. I don't think that, is there any problem with having more money than we actually spend on it, and that goes to other programs or whatever? Or is it all locked in? It has to be, let's say a project comes in at 25,000, there's an existing 25,000 that we can use somewhere else.
If we
So-
don't know what we're doing with our money, they're not gonna like it for the following year. So we
Exactly, we lose it, yeah.
The,
Say that again?
the general,
we
the general
can lose the
philosophy,
money.
Yeah.
if I
Yeah.
can, if
Yeah.
I can say, if I can chime in, the general idea on budgeting for a municipality is that it's not a business budget. You're not looking to have cost savings at the end of the year. You want to predict what you're going to need for the following year based on the money you're going to have available, and you want to get that work done. If you get to the end of the year and you have money left over, then either you brought in more money than you expected, which is not common, but not unheard of, or you didn't get all of your work done, which means you didn't schedule your work properly. And which can be a negative reflection on staff for not doing their job, quite frankly. So you need to set a realistic number and assume that that's the amount you're going to spend. You don't really want to, you build contingency in, 5%, 7%, like we do on any construction project, but that's different than, well, we have this pile, and if we don't spend it, then we don't spend it, we'll use it somewhere else. What it means is you're not doing a good job of planning your work for the year.
I was gonna say too, we could even budget less, and in the event that we find a cheaper sculpture than, say, 50 grand, say we budget 20,000, we could, that would be great, obviously, finding a cheaper sculpture, but we could also say, we're gonna split this payment up, half of it's paid in 2025 for the sculpture, and then the following year, if we need to allocate, 15 grand for the remaining payment, then we split the payment for the sculpture over 2 years instead of just having the entire budget in 1 year. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I'm not opposed. I just, I think that it's a wonderful opportunity. I think it'll enhance the city and the public in general. And once a precedence, once something is in there, it makes it, I think very desirable for it to be followed through with other roundabouts. So what I'm saying, well, I'm throwing out the 50,000. The budget seems to be, coming out of a fund where that's pretty much the top limit, 160 for next year, right? And so,
The budget amount, our budget is basically based on the assumption of 10% of the hotel motel tax.
right.
Which has been running about 160, that 10%'s been running about 165,000 the last
No,
several
that's been
years.
explained, yeah. So okay, so let's just make the decision. Number one, it is something that we want to put into our budget because it is an enhancement that would serve the city nicely. And then we're just talking about how we budget it and how much money. Is that correct?
I mean, would it make sense to put like an RFP out to get estimates for what we
Yeah.
could potentially, and then that way we have a better idea of what, I mean, because we're just throwing a number out there. It could be 12,000, could be 50,000. It's like, that's a pretty wide range for our very small business.
And we could say in the RFP that we're accepting proposals for both existing work and
Yeah,
custom.
I think that's probably the way to go. And then when do we create the budget? Like November or? No? Oh, I'm used to
Well,
budgeting in
that's
February.
the thing is last year.
City council has its first breakdown on the budget meeting scheduled for, I believe, November 6th or November 8th. By that point, staff has to have all of their homework done, council has to adopt it in the December council meeting.
We could have, I mean, we could have a month of applications or a month of RFPs and get an idea, you know, of what we would want to, if we want to continue with this.
Well, that's my proposal, in terms of trying to put something in place. If it's not in the budget, then it's probably not going to be done. So that's why I'm kind of hoping that we put some number on it, something, so that we can move forward with it.
Does anyone have any comments about any of the other items that are on here?
Do we have an estimate, I mean, is it of a standard, this gentleman asked, said, you asked him how much per square foot, and it was like $50 a square foot. What is, do we have any barometer of what it is?
Yeah, so the
Like Babe Walls, how much was that?
Bay Balls was actually very cheap for us because we
Yeah.
did it all at once. That came in around, I want to say $18 per square foot. The average in Atlanta, I want to say, is 45 per square foot. So if you get, 25, you're doing pretty good.
Okay.
Tanisha, can you explain again the quilt project?
Yeah, so they've already started working on this. This is the Southeast Fiber Arts Alliance. And what they're doing is they're going around to different cultural communities and asking them to put together a quilt square that represents their neighborhood or their culture or what have you. And then they're going to put it together. And what they would like to do with this is kind of have almost like a traveling exhibit where they're bringing it to places, showing off the work, telling the stories, and maybe having some kind of book-like material that goes with the project. So they've basically asked us to kind of be a sponsor of that project. And honestly, I don't think they're looking for much.
The Welcome to Chamblee mural, it's MARTA, which is an entity that we're working with MARTA, or we're funding it and MARTA is giving us a wall, or?
So this is an existing mural. It was actually it might have been our first in Chamblee. It's behind the gas station at the corner of Peachtree Industrial
Yeah,
and,
yeah. I know exactly where it is.
and
Peachtree and.
Peachtree Road.
And
Peachtree and Peachtree.
Yeah,
And basically, it's old, and it's not doing super well. We have talked to MARTA a number of times about kind of what we want to do, because it is their wall, and it was a partnership. We actually had a third partner in this project back then, but it would likely just be us and MARTA this time. And so it's always been a question of, do we want to put up a new mural? Do we want to whitewash it? What would we like to do? One of the big problems there is that there's no curb. So all of the dirt from the road goes right onto the mural, and there's not an easy way to clean it. It was cleaned, though, in the cleaning project last week. I think for the first time, maybe.
yeah, but that could take off paint too.
Yeah, I mean, they were gentle about it, but yeah. It does, something needs to happen with it within the next couple of years, I would say.
Well, if we like it, can't we just, use that as our design and repaint it? Or it's
That
better-
is
I think it's
also
a
one
little
of,
outdated.
that's also one of the most controversial murals that we've ever done.
It was the one,
It is polarizing. It is polarizing.
okay. So why don't we we're going to make a determination of this budget or the following year as to whether we want to redo it?
I think it's just, where on the priority list is it for us? I think that's what we need to think about tonight, is what are the highest priorities and what are the lowest priorities, so that when I go back and make a spreadsheet, we can kind of see, okay, let's make sure we're good on these top 10 items. And then if any of those fall away, then you bring up some of the lower priority items.
Like we did last year, where
Yeah.
we all went in and kind of rated them?
We did do that last year, yep.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
will say, it's very, very noticeable. Of all the murals, it's very noticeable to driving into the city.
I do like how mural focused the 2026 budget is looking, though. It seems like, I hate all the gray walls, so I'm excited to see a lot of the paintings.
The Fishbowl Park, though, what is the date? What's the date of that park? Like, does it even fit into 2026?
Jody, do you have that answer?
Sorry. If it,
Public comment?
I'm just trying to determine.
Jody
if-
Gilfillan, 4355 Huntington Circle in Dunwoody, Georgia. I'll tell you what I know. We are, as of right now, we did put it out to bid originally. We're actually going to be putting it back out to bid again. I believe we're doing that later this fall.
Okay.
We were hoping to get construction started before the end of the year, but it's probably going to be 2026 before that happens now. So I'm not sure of the exact timeline on that. I don't know if it's 9 months or if it's 12 months. Do you know anything about that?
You currently have some more information I don't have yet. I didn't know it was back out.
It's not back out yet.
Well, we'll be going
Yeah.
back out. Based on the timelines that were laid out, there's not going to be anything to paint, beginning weather and construction until early '27. If it's
Okay.
done in '26, it's going to be the very end of '26, and we're not putting paint on walls outdoors at that point.
Right.
So anything there is probably going to need to roll to the '27 budget.
And to answer your question about a wall, there is in the design a wall already dedicated for murals. So it's already part of the design of it. So we do know there is a wall dedicated for murals on that. And then as far as Dresden Park goes, most of the walls in Dresden Park are not going to be, we're not going to be able to do a mural on, because they are actually, we've taken what do we use for our curbs?
Oh, it's granite. You're talking about the granite
The
block?
granite, yes, they put granite on the walls to make it look like stone, and that is not good for, we're not gonna wanna put a mural on top of that. If anything, there may be some smaller, 4-foot, 5-foot little areas here and there, but nothing that's, dedicated for a mural. I do believe, though, on the back side of the building, when we were doing the design of the building, we were leaving an area for some type of mural on the back side of the building. So if you're on the soccer field or tennis court or whatever, and you're walking up, I remember us putting that, leaving a blank space there, so.
So maybe
to
we
know.
switch the mural on here from Fishbowl to
The
Dresden,
Dresden mural.
because we know that will be
Yeah.
available 26.
And while I'm up here, I'm not sure if the funding from hotel motel funds could be used for this, but I do know that we had received last year a quote or a proposal to update the arts master plan. And if funding from hotel motel funds could be used for that update,
That's going to be a Daria question.
Okay.
I'm going with no. That's going to be straight city budget, I think, for.
yeah, that may be something you may want to consider as part of one of your budget ideas as well, because
Do you remember what that quote was?
like 18,000 or something. Not positive, but it was an update to the plan, because the original plan was several years ago, 2017-ish, maybe, 2018. And it included turning that building into a whole thing. So it's definitely outdated, and I definitely think it needs to be redone. Specifically, if we want to go after grants or anything like that, you really need to have an updated master plan. So when you're applying for these grants, they see that you've got your ducks in a row and this is what you're wanting to do, this is your plan. So just something to think about. I know I'm in the public and I'm not supposed to talk, but I'm going to go sit down.
A good point about, yeah, Fishbowl in Dresden. But I also think, Tanisha, like, we can start with the things we know, like Art Drop, we know Chalk Walk. I don't know if we want to continue to do some kind of a performance thing like we did with Performance in the Park.
As far as I know, that is off the table for this next year.
Okay. So we can start with the what we knows that we're going to do. I do like, when I went back to the bold, the big and bold, I do like the partnering idea of partnering with these local places. And certainly I really appreciate Mark and what he's doing and how can, even if it's not something that's that park related, is there something else that we could do with AIM? So for me, I think, our usual things that we know that are really important to the community, and then the partnering with, those are kind of my top, thoughts and ideas for our budget for next year. In case you wanted to know that.
All right, does anyone else have any thoughts on this? I think, moving forward, I'll have to dig that old file out. I think I want to say we did it on a Google Drive, maybe?
Yeah.
And we'll, do some kind of voting, rate these ideas, and then come back, take those top ones, and really, it's just kind of a game of cups, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we need to spend 30 more thousand, what do we want to pull up, and that kind of thing.
But I also wanted to say, I do love this kinetic art idea. And so, but maybe kinetic art, it's kind of hard to say, can be built into some of these other things we're thinking about doing.
If anybody knows any kinetic artists that are local, I would love to know. It's been very difficult to find.
As far as the kinetic, it was just an idea.
Just something we don't have, a new idea.
I do love the idea of I'm sorry, Tom.
No, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I do love the idea of putting something on the corner of Hospital and Chambly Dunwoody where the animal lifeline is located. And, that could be kinetic. Like, I'm imagining like some kind of a mobile with little paws, little cats and dogs, and yeah. Well, they're going to move.
No,
Oh,
Well-
I hope they don't move.
They're in the middle of a huge construction project right next door.
Yeah, that's right, because they're doing whatever that little village thing they're doing.
Well, can we maybe consider a kinetic art sculpture in a roundabout scenario?
What it's doing, because that might be distracting, I would think.
Rather than enhancing, yeah. But mobile, is, goes with the wind and so forth. I've seen a number of them, they're fantastic, But I think that there is a potential they could combine those two, if we had somebody that we liked his work or her work.
All right, sounds like we're ready to move on.
Anyone want to do a public comment? Mark?
Hey, yeah, I just wanted to thank Paulina for inviting me to the meeting. Also, I've been to several art commission meetings, and I've never seen anybody from Parks and Rec at one of those meetings, so that speaks a lot to what she's doing. I think you're on the right track as far as like every roundabout is like a blank canvas, like, and to take advantage to push art, the art mission and the narrative. I think it's great, and y'all doing a lot of good work. Thank y'all so much for having me here. We do have a lot of artists in our network, and even if we can't partner as an organization, we'd love to help. I know some kinetic artists myself, so maybe that's a potential just to help, So I'd like to stay connected with Chamblee Arts Commission and look forward to working with y'all in the future. Thank y'all so much for having me here.
Mark?
Thank you.
And also, it looks like future walls are coming up in Chamblee too that you may wish to consider. So,
Okay, guys, could I please get a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
second.
Any discussion? All right, we will see you all next month. September 25th.